Imagine being called an idiot as a kid, basically written off by your teachers. And then you grow up to, completely change everything, inventing things so advanced people thought it was magic. We are, of course, talking about Thomas Edison, a name that just screamed genius.
Oh, absolutely. And for very good reason. Edison was just instrumental in pushing forward technology we barely think about now. Things like the telegraph, the camera, the telephone, and the big one, the incandescent light bulb. He's often painted as this, really inspiring figure, rags to riches, defying the odds. But his story isn't quite so simple, is it? There are those claims about him taking credit for other people's work, and definitely some pretty dramatic clashes, like that legendary War of the Currents with Nikola Tesla.
Exactly. So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going back to the 1800s to really get into the true story of Thomas Edison, the man who literally brought light to the darkness, but maybe had a bit of a complex, darker side. Okay, so Thomas Edison, born 1847. And right from the start, it wasn't easy. People actually called him defective because he had this unusually large head and was sick a lot. You'd think that might make for a lonely childhood, but no, his curiosity was just off the charts. He had to know how everything worked.
Right. His dad apparently found the constant questions exhausting, just brushed him off. But his mother, crucially, she encouraged it. Like, there's this story where young Thomas pesters his mom for hours about why geese sit on eggs, and then later that night he sneaks out, finds the eggs himself, and tries to hatch them.
Wow.
Yeah. But that curiosity wasn't always so harmless. Another time, he sets his father's barn on fire.
Just like that.
Just to see what would happen. It nearly burned the whole town. His father apparently whipped him in public for that one.
Ouch. A tough start. And then scarlet fever hits him hard, forces him out of school. When he goes back, he's way behind. And then he actually overhears his teachers making fun of him. So he just runs home, says, that's it, I'm never going back.
And this is where his mother really steps in. She just refused to accept that her son was an idiot, pulled him out of school for good, decided to teach him herself, covered the basics, reading, writing, math. But the key thing, she let him follow his own interest. He just devoured science books, started doing experiments at home. She really nurtured that spark.
And that experimenting led to more, let's say, interesting situations.
Oh, definitely. He tried to make a friend float like a balloon by feeding him some chemical powder.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the poor kid just got really sick. Another time, learning about static electricity, he tries to rub two cats together with wires attached to their tails.
That sounds like a recipe for getting scratched.
Exactly. But these wild stories, they really show his core drive. If something was a mystery, he had to figure it out. He started collecting everything, feathers, rocks, bones, just in case. His mom even helped him set up a little lab in the basement. Basic stuff, but it was...
So he's got this intense curiosity drive.
Yeah.
Where does that take him next as he starts getting...
Well, when he was just 12, he gets a job selling newspapers and candy on the train. And for a kid obsessed with machines, this must have seemed like paradise, right? A moving labyrinth.
Dream job, yeah. Until that accident.
Exactly. The story goes, he's running late for a moving train, newspapers in hand, slips, almost falls under. Someone grabs him by the ears, pulls him up. But he said he felt something just snap inside his head. After that, he was partially deaf, and it got worse over time. It made him more solitary, sure. But he later claimed his deafness actually helped, said it made it easier to concentrate for longer periods. He sort of turned it into...
Wow. And he didn't stop experimenting on the train, did he? Set up a lab in the baggage car.
He did, which predictably led to another fire when he knocked over some phosphorus. Oops.
Always something with the fire.
Seems like it. But it wasn't all accident. When he was 15, a really pivotal moment. He sees a toddler crawling onto the train tracks, train coming. He dashes out, saves the baby just in time. Turns out it was the station master's son. And the station master had noticed Tom's fascination with the telegraph.
Ah, the telegraph. The internet of the 1800s, really. Instant communication over long distance.
Pretty much. So as a thank you, the station master teaches Edison everything about it and helps him get a job as a telegraph operator, making about $20. But here's the thing with Edison, right? He could never just do the job. The telegraph was still kind of new, and he was always fiddling, trying to improve it.
Which got him fired. A lot. I read his job was mostly waiting for a message, which he found boring. So he built a little machine to automatically send the required signal check-in so he could nap. Naturally, his boss found out.
Fired. It became a pattern. Get a job, start tinkering. Another time, he upgraded a receiver into a repeater, which meant messages didn't need a person to manually retransmit. Super useful, right? But his supervisor was working on something similar, got jealous, and fired him again. So he bounced around a lot. New job, same story. More interested in experimenting than just following the rules. You see the inventor starting to emerge.
Okay, so he hits 20. He's back home, feeling pretty downpour. His hearing's getting worse. But things are about to shift again.
Right. A friend helps him land a job at Western Union in Boston in 1868, and he was fast at Morse code. So fast, they gave him the tough job, receiving stock quotes from the fastest sender in New York.
But knowing Edison, even that probably got old quick if there wasn't a problem to solve.
You guessed. He found it tedious, started tinkering again, made some useful tweaks to the equipment, a telegraphy journal about it. Companies started offering him money for his ideas. That gave him the boost he needed. He quits the steady job, decides to go full-time freelance inventor, even starts sleeping less to get more inventing done. A huge leap.
But the first big invention, the first patent, that didn't go so well, did it? This vote recorder thing.
No, total disaster. It was a simple machine. Lawmakers push yes or no, official. But the Massachusetts legislature basically said, no thanks, we like the delays for lobbying, and declared it illegal. Nearly bankrupted. Huge lesson learned. He famously said afterwards, I find out what the world needs, then I proceed to invent. He realized invention wasn't enough. It had to be something people would actually buy. He switched focus purely to inventions and commercial demand. Game changer.
Makes sense. So next up, an improved stock ticker. That definitely fits commercial demand. But it sounds like he kind of got taken advantage of in the deal. Sold the patent rights for peanuts. Made him pretty anxious.
He did. Still learning the business side, But he spotted an even bigger fish, fixing the duplex telegraph. This thing was supposed to send and receive at the same time on one wire, but it was buggy, unreliable. If he could fix it, he'd double the capacity of every telegraph line overnight. Cut costs in half for companies like Western Union. Huge potential payout.
Okay, so a clear problem, massive reward. He takes out a big loan for this, right? Like $800, which was serious money then. Over $18,000 today.
Huge risk.
Yeah.
And it failed. His first big demonstration in Boston, midnight on a Saturday, total flop, couldn't get it working. Nobody bought it. He was broke, couldn't get any more funding in Boston. Serious trouble.
So what does he do? Spends his last dime on a train ticket to New York, shows up with nothing, hasn't eaten for days, apparently tricks a shopkeeper for tea bags to trade for 5-cent dumplings just to survive. Spends his first night just wandering the streets, cold, alone. It sounds rock bottom.
Absolutely. But the next day, a telegrapher buddy spots him, sees how bad he looks, loans him $1, and Edison, even then, instantly calculates, okay, 5-cent dumplings, that $1 gets me food for 20 days. That practicality, even in despair, is pure Edison.
Incredible. Okay, so then he goes looking for work, finds this inventor, Franklin Pope, offers to be an assistant just for a place to sleep.
Yeah, Pope lets him crash in this dingy cellar in the lab's battery room. Not glamorous, but it was sheltered. Now, Pope had invented this crucial gold indicator machine that Wall Street relied on heavily. One day, the main one breaks down. Panic. Trading stops. Pope can't fix it. Edison takes a look and bam! Spots the problem. A tiny loose spring jammed in the gear. Fixes it.
Just like that. Saved.
Totally. Pope's partner was so impressed, he hires Edison on the spot to improve the machine. Gets a promotion, big raise, $300 a month. Then Western Union hears about him, hires him to fix their stock printers. We're going haywire, printing random numbers. Edison figures out a way to remotely reset them all. Saves Western Union a fortune.
And this is the moment. Western Union offers him $40,000 for the patent right. That's over $1 million today. 40 grand. What does he do with that kind of money suddenly?
Okay, this is fascinating. He spends almost all of it in under 30 days. Sounds crazy, right?
Yeah, sounds like he blew it.
But it was actually incredibly smart. See, Western Union only bought the patent rights. Edison kept the manufacturing rights. Then Western Union immediately orders 1,200 of his improved stock ticker, an order that would eventually make him nearly $500,000, like $13 million today. So he used that initial $40K not on luxuries, but to build a factory, a proper lab, hire assistants.
Yeah.
He created his idea factory. He was building an invention system.
That's brilliant. And his style of inventing was so different, wasn't it? Hated math, apparently, but could just see machines in his head, down to the last gear.
Totally. He visualized everything, how parts fit, how they could be changed or improved. His lab was filled with random stuff, peacock feathers, bullhorns, porcupine quills, just whatever might spark an idea or be useful in some weird experiment.
It sounds chaotic, but purposeful.
Exactly. And this leads to that controversy you hear today, right? Did he steal ideas? Was he more businessman than inventor? The truth is, well, it's nuanced. He was both. A genuine inventor, but also a really sharp businessman who knew how to scale things up, reinvest profits, build that whole ecosystem.
And the work ethic was just insane. 53 patents in 2 years, forming insomnia squads that worked for days straight.
Oh, yeah. His famous line, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, he lived that. He outworked everyone.
But that must have taken a toll personally.
Huge toll. His first wife, Mary, felt really neglected. He was always at the lab, sometimes sleeping there. She sadly died young, only 29, leaving him with 3. He did remarry, but pretty quickly went back to spending most of his time in the lab. Work was his.
Okay, so 1873 hits, big financial crisis in the U.S. Companies aren't looking for small improvements anymore. What does Edison do?
He doesn't slow down. He figures, okay, I need to invent something so essential people have to buy it, crisis or not. And he goes back to the telegraph, but bigger, the quadruplex telegraph. Send and receive 2 signals simultaneously on one wire. quadruple in capacity. Remember his duplex failure? This was redemption.
Massive technical challenge.
Huge. Took 2 years, constant trial and error, sleepless night, but he cracked. The quadruplex worked perfectly. That success made him famous across America and gave him the resources to build his dream, the big industrial research lab in Menlo Park, New Jersey.
Right, where he set that crazy goal. A minor invention every 10 days and a big thing every 6 months.
Let's talk about pressure. And one of the big things everyone was talking about then was the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell patented it in 76, had a monopoly. Western Union, Edison's old partners, were desperate to compete, so they hire, improve the phone, find a way around Bell's patent.
And weirdly, his deafness helped him again.
Yeah.
Improving clarity and volume.
It did. He could apparently focus on the mechanics of sound transmission, and he made Bell's phone much louder and clearer. And working on transmitting sound got him thinking, what about recording? That led to the phonograph in 1877, a needle vibrating from sound waves, etching onto tinfoil silk. Play it back, you hear the sound.
Mind-blowing for the time. How did he even hear it properly with his deafness?
Get this. He'd bite down on the phonograph, feel the vibrations through his skull.
Wow.
He thought it'd mainly be for office dictation, but nope. It basically invented the record, made recorded music possible everywhere. That's when the press started calling him the Wizard of Menlo Park.
The Wizard. Okay, so phonograph. Massive success.
Yeah.
But the invention everyone knows him for is still coming, right? Electric light.
The big one. Yeah, lighting hadn't changed much in decades. Candles, messy gas lamps, dangerous kerosene. It was ripe for disruption. So in 1878, Edison decides, right, I'm tackling incandescent light, heating a thin filament with electricity until it glows.
Even though loads of others had tried and failed, people thought it was basically impossible to make a practical version. What were the hurdles?
Oh, huge hurdles. You needed a bulb that was small, bright, didn't use too much power, lasted a long time, was cheap to make, and could be turned on and off individually. The absolute core problem, Philip, finding something that could get incredibly hot and glow brightly without just poof, burning out immediately.
So how did he approach that? The famous story is just endless experimenting.
Endless is right. He started with organic stuff, cotton, string, then metals like platinum that lasted maybe 2 hours. Not good enough. Over a year and a half, he and his team tested something like 1,600 materials, sent people searching jungles in the Amazon, mountains, Japan, just looking for fibers. Even tried, yes, human hair.
Whatever it takes.
Pretty much. The breakthrough finally came with carbon, taking a simple cotton thread and heating it in a controlled way without oxygen, turning it into pure, durable carbon. That first carbonized cotton filament burned for 40 hours. Then carbonized paper lasted 170 hours. Huge. So New Year's Eve, 1879, he puts on this massive demonstration at Menlo Park. Lights up the whole place with 800 bulbs. 3,000 people show up. They see the future right there.
Incredible moment. But the filament quest wasn't totally over, right? They kept refining it while he moved on to the next massive problem.
Exactly. Getting the bulb was just step one. Now he had to figure out how to power millions, build an entire electrical industry from scratch. And this is where another giant figure enters the story. A young Serbian immigrant named Nikola Tesla arrived in 1884. Tesla was, well, a different kind of genius. Spoke 8 languages, could do complex calculus in his head, photographic memory, just brilliant.
Brilliant, but maybe a bit eccentric. I read he was terrified of pearls, had a gambling issue, and got freaked out if stairs weren't divisible by 3.
Yeah, definitely quirky. But Edison saw the talent, hired him immediately based on a recommendation.
And the clash started almost right away, didn't it? DC versus AC.
Instantly, Edison was all in on direct current. DC. It was better understood scientifically then, but it was inefficient, expensive, couldn't travel far. You needed power stations. Tesla was convinced alternating current AC was the future. Cheaper, could travel vast distances. It was a fundamental disagreement about the best way
which led to that infamous story. Edison asked Tesla to improve his inefficient DC mode, dangles this huge $50,000 bonus like $1.6 million today. Tesla pulls it off.
Does an amazing job. Comes back inspecting his reward, and Edison just laughs. Says, Tesla, when you become a full-fledged American, you will appreciate an American joke.
Oh, wow. That's brutal.
Tesla was furious, felt totally ripped off, betrayed. He quit on the spot, ended up digging ditches for a while just to make ends meet. But that experience just fueled his determination. He had to prove AC worked, had to prove Edison wrong. And that right there is the start of the War of the Current.
And Tesla gets backing, right? George Westinghouse sees the potential in AC.
Big time. By 1887, Tesla has all these patents for efficient AC systems. Westinghouse jumps in, pays Tesla $2 million up front, plus a huge salary, plus stock options. Tesla was set to become unbelievably wealthy. His royalties on just one patent were estimated at over $100 million. Back then, that's like $3.3 billion today.
Okay, so Tesla's rising fast. How does Edison react?
This is where Edison's less admirable side really comes out. He saw AC as a direct threat to his DC empire, and he fought dirt, launched a massive propaganda campaign, lied about AC being dangerous in newspapers, secretly funded the development of the electric chair, using AC specifically to link it with death in the public mind.
Seriously?
The electric chair. Yep. He even paid kids to bring him stray dogs and puppies, which he then publicly electrocuted with AC to prove how deadly it was. Filmed an elephant being electrocuted. It was ruthless.
Did it work?
Not entirely. A lot of smart money still went with Westinghouse, and yes, they won the huge contract to light the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, 160,000 AC light bulbs. It was a massive success, showed everyone AC was safe and effective on a huge scale.
So that was kind of the turning point.
Pretty much the nail in the coffin for DC's dominance in large-scale power. The final blow came the next year, 1894, with Tesla's hydroelectric plant at Niagara Falls. That proved AC could deliver enormous power efficiency. So, in the end, Tesla's AC won for the grid, powering cities and industries. But, Edison's DC is still essential today. It's what powers your phone, your laptop, anything with a battery. So they both left a massive mark.
Right. And the story gets sadder for Tesla later on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He actually tore up that lucrative Westinghouse contract to save Westinghouse's company financially.
He did. An incredibly noble but ultimately disastrous move for him personally. He could have been one of the richest men ever. Instead, he poured his own money into experiments and died penniless.
While Edison always protected his patents, his business.
Very careful. Edison was always the businessman as much as the inventor. He drove down the cost of light bulbs to just 22 cents by built hundreds of power.
Then the big merger happened. J.P. Morgan rolls Edison's companies into General Electric, but Edison wasn't happy being just a manager.
The company got too big, too corporate for him. He wanted to be inventing. So when they took Edison out of the company name in 1892, he sold his 10% stock.
Which cost him a fortune in the long run, but freed him up to get back in the lab.
Exactly. That's what mattered most. And he went right back to juggling dozens of projects. He revisited the phonograph, completely rethought it, saw its potential for entertainment, not just business. Even with his deafness, he made recorded and accessible for everyone. Huge culture.
And movies, too. He patented the first practical motion picture camera, the kinetograph. His company made early films like The Great Train Robbery.
Yeah, and here's a weird twist of history. Because Edison fiercely protected his movie patents and sued everyone, early filmmakers fled. They moved way out west to a little suburb of Los Angeles to get away from his lawyers. And that's basically how Hollywood got started, to avoid Edison.
No way. So Edison inadvertently created Hollywood.
In a strange sense, yeah. His impact was everywhere. Top 10 figures in film history, contributions to projectors, radio, even battery. He worked with Henry Ford on trying to build an electric car way back.
The man just never stopped. Voted America's most useful citizen for 20 years straight. Filed his 1,093rd patent the year he died in 1931 at 84.
And when he died, the whole country apparently dimmed their lights or observed a minute of silence, acknowledging just how much...
So wrapping this up, it's such a massive, complicated legacy, isn't it? From that kid called Defective to this relentless inventor, savvy businessman, empire builder, but also, a pretty ruthless competitor in that war of the currents.
Absolutely. The sheer persistence is undeniable. That foresight to link invention directly to commercial need was revolutionary. And the sheer volume of his work that shaped our modern lives, but you can't and shouldn't ignore the method propaganda. It's part of the story. It's messy.
Which leaves us with a big question for you, listening. What does Edison's story really tell us about innovation? Is it just about lone genius? Or is it this complex mix of incredible hard work, business smarts, taking risks, and maybe sometimes crossing ethical lines? How do we weigh that incredible impact against some of the questionable ways he achieved it? Definitely something to think about next time you flip on a light.